Hello, hello, hello. How you all doing in Facebook land? Hello. There we go. Awesome. Hi, welcome. Hey, there's my friend. Hey, yes.
Hi,
Hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. Hey everyone on Facebook land, welcome.
Hi.
This is my friend Maria and
Yes.
we were just chatting about bullies and we decided, you know what? We're actually going to come have our conversation on Facebook instead because we wondered like who else can benefit from this conversation,
Yeah.
as well as how many of us don't even realize we're being bullied, don't even realize how much we actually have power not to be bullied. And Maria, do you want to share a story of your daughter and kind of how this conversation came about?
Yeah. Thank you for all of this because it was interesting. She's a really brilliant kid, and it was we were preparing for school. Like she remembered at the last moment she had to memorize some lines like a song or something for school tomorrow. And I was just with her, and I was just, okay, just do it. If you need me to help, I'll help. And then she was like memorizing it like in 15 minutes. She did like something that should have like that they had it for like a week, the assignment, right? And she just did it in 15 minutes. Like it was a long thing. And I was like, wow, you have a talent for this. Like you have a capacity. Do you know that? Yeah. And then she was not willing to go forth with that, like to actually move more or do like something that was like I think it was something like the teacher wanted, like said it was optional to memorize the whole thing. She said like, I'm gonna do just what is required, not nothing more. And I was like, why? And she said, well, my schoolmate, my friend, she's gonna be angry at me if I be better, if I'm not like, if I'm more than her, or if I'm just not, average. If and I thought of that. I was like, wow, what we let ourselves do this. Like, and I was asking her, so why wouldn't you, like, why would you let her, like, anger or bullying affect you that way? She was like, well, she's really angry, and she really makes me, she's really not nice to me and not nice to other kids, so I'm just gonna be plain vanilla. I'm just gonna do what the teacher asks and nothing more. And then I was really, on one hand, I was really angry. I got really angry about it. And on the other hand, I was like, wow, I do that too. I think we all do this, like, because someone's uncomfortable with us shining in our brilliance, or being our brilliance, or stepping into us, or what we're good at. And we don't want them to be angry. We don't want them to be like, to exclude us, you know because we want to
Yeah.
fit in. We want to be like other people, or liked, or whatever.
Yeah, and it's an interesting topic because I think a lot of parents, when they think of bullying, they only think about their kids, right?
Yeah.
Like in your situation, your daughter at school. I remember there was one situation, gosh, my kids were in middle school and one of their best friends hung out with the bully, and the bully wanted to be best friends with my daughters too. It was just really interesting how that whole situation happened. It happened once. They tried to bully my kids and they couldn't get away with it.
Hmm.
But so many of us forget us as the adults. how often we're being bullied at work, how often we're bullied in relationships, whether it's our friends or our loved ones. And the irony is that for someone to have that ability to do that with you, you actually have to give them permission.
Yeah.
You have to be willing not to be all of you, not to be all your potency and greatness, and be willing to be that energy that doesn't allow that. And so when you started to share this in our, Being You certified facilitator group, like I knew immediately this was the energy I was aware of yesterday. Like most of us don't realize we're actually not, in the old world, it used to be called living to our possibility, or to our
Not to
what's
our not to live up to our potential, you mean?
potential. That's the
Yeah.
one. Yes. And it's so crazy because even being at the advanced body class this weekend really opened up more places of how we lock judgment, how much we actually lock up our capacities and abilities. And sometimes it shows up in anger, sometimes it shows up in that frustration we have, because what we actually are doing is taking all our capacities, our potency, and we're like saying, here, let's shove it in the body. Let's put a bottle cap on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, when you just have this thing brewing inside, it takes one thing to
Yeah.
happen,
To
and then
pop,
you
yeah.
go boom. And those are the moments we're not willing to be us. We have to wait till that moment of the popping of the bottle to be us. Like your daughter, she was going to choose not to be her greatness and being able to know this whole thing like this, learn it like that, because it would be easier to fit in
Yeah.
than to stand out as being someone special who just has a gift around this.
Yeah. And also, like, when we are not willing to be the brilliance that would actually melt, like, the competition or the limitation or the bullying, and we think that if we were gonna be less, it's gonna be better. They're gonna stop. But
Yeah.
that's not really how it goes. Like, we have to be that brilliance. We have to step into, like, claim, own, and acknowledge and be it. So it just melts everything else. You
Yeah,
just
and I
like, yeah,
I think, and that's the thing. I think most people think, okay, does that mean I need to be the bully, or I need to be angry, or I need to be mean? And that's not what Maria is talking about right now. It's your willingness to actually be all the energies you are. It's not about being unkind.
no,
Actually, when you shrink yourself, you are being unkind to you. And they know it and they pick up on it. It's like a dog who can sense
mm-hmm,
blood. When you're not being all of you, when you're just trying to be like everyone else, it's like that bully's the dog who's like, let me sniff. Who can I go intimidate?
yeah. And they also, like, it's almost like they know you're brilliant and they know they're great. But when you're making yourself small, it's like, wow, now I can, and I can have control over you, so you won't be that.
Yeah. Yeah. But no one can control you unless you give
No,
them permission, even if it's
yeah.
unconscious?
Yeah. And also, how much are we aware of their insecurities? So we're not, we're just, and we're so kind, we don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable, or, like, Gary Douglas was talking about, like, he didn't purposefully didn't win the spelling bee competition because he knew that if he would have won, the other kid would be just devastated. And it didn't actually mean that much to Gary Douglas to win, but it meant the world to the other kid. So he let him win, you know? And how much are we doing that? Like, because we're aware of their insecurities, and what if we're doing them and us and the world this disservice by just us not being us, not like shrinking
Yeah.
and diminishing ourselves, or just keeping small or keeping quiet? What if it's like like you said, it's not about like being unkind to them. It's just us being us is the greatest kindness we can gift to people.
And Maya, I'm a being UCF. You're a being UCF. It doesn't matter how much we know the tools. It's so easy not to be us, because that is what we've been our whole life, is doing everything to make other people feel good. Like this class for me, advanced body class this weekend, and I don't know, I've been to maybe 8, 9, 10. I don't know how many I've been to, but it was like the light bulbs kept going off. Like we had some of the most amazing conversations about business, about relationships, about just your body, your health, your wellness, in so many areas. And I realized no matter what I'm being every day, I'm still not being me. Like it's like those moments where I allow it, and still those moments of the patterns of what my mom would do, what my dad would do, what my teachers would do, what's allowed in society, what would be appropriate as a mother. Like these moments, they still come, and they're like kangaroo balls now, in front of me. But it's like, it's not like there's a destination about being you. It's something every second of
Yeah.
the day we have to choose it,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
choice. It's definitely like it's actually choice. Yeah. And
But
that was the thing for me too. Like you have to choose it. You have and using the tools just to get you there. And we still do, like both of us, right? And we
well,
facilitate classes, but still like we have to we have to use the tools and this is the thing
well,
with well my daughter, sorry to interrupt you,
yeah, yeah,
but
go ahead. Hmm.
my daughter, I was realizing that my daughter actually was showing me where she learned that from. Because when I was looking at her when she said that, I was like, that's not you. That's totally not you. Usually don't do this, or you're not a person to back down. Like who did you learn this from? And I was like, and I realized I have a similar situation going on in my life right now. And she was just so mirroring it that I was like, oh my God, like I have that effect on, like I'm an inspiration to my daughter. And it's like it can be in that way, in a destructive way, but it also can be like, what would it take for it to be in a productive or expanding way, or like generative way.
Yeah. And okay, so first, instead of going into wrongness of us, like we already do that, right? We are an inspiration. We do inspire our kids and strangers and others for greater. And that's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong, but it's just realizing that every every second we have to keep choosing, you know what? I'm going to be me no matter what. And
Yeah.
I was telling you yesterday, out of nowhere, I got the awareness that tomorrow, in less than 48 hours, I'm going to do a Zoom, and it's called Unwinding the Fuck Up.
I love the title.
And it's because there's so many things that we literally have mimicked from our parents, from society, from our cultures, from our countries, that are so inbred in us, we don't even know we're doing it. We don't even know we're being it. And it's like, if it's time for you guys, I know it is for me. Like I recognize this weekend, like as much as there's so many things that I've changed in my life, there's so many things I'm being and willing to actually create and generate and actualize, there's still stuff. And I'm not saying, oh, go away and overnight, but there's so much more stuff that I know I'm still holding on to and not being all of me. And no matter how it got created, no matter what we chose that created it, that's not the problem. Now's the time for us really not to allow anyone to bully us. I mean, I laugh. I was looking at different people I work with, right? So, like today, I was dealing with a hotel. I was dealing with different people around the world, and just I could see, like, I'm so aware of the energy that they're being, and how many of them desire to be that dominant energy,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh. okay, everywhere I haven't been willing to be what you're willing to be, I'm going to be that. And for me, it's fun though, because like, even though they think I'm not being it, I'm very aware of their actions, whether it's energetic or verbal or body language or whatever. So it's really easy for me to switch it like this. But it's not about just a switch. It's that those are the energies that are showing up because you put an ask in the world. You're desiring something and it's showing up to show you where you're not willing to be that energy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we have to also be willing to be the bully so the bully doesn't bully us.
Yeah, to be that energy, to willing to be that, that's exactly the thing. I had the same situation, I think a few days ago, and I was also like talking to a venue, to a hotel, and they were really not backing away, not backing like really dominant. This is our business. We set the rules, we set the price. And then I was like, oh, really? And then I went into, I usually would have been like, I would have been the kind person. And then I was also being that energy of like, really? But we can also go somewhere else, we don't have to be here. And because there was like, they were also using the time, like they were actually using something against us. And I was like,
Mm,
being like, no, but we can also go somewhere else, like that's not.
yeah.
And yeah, and I was willing to be that energy. I was willing to be that, and she also then softened and backed away, so back down, so we could have a, like an adult conversation, you know.
No, don't have an adult conversation. Have a kid conversation. They're more fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But okay, that's exactly it. Okay. Like even like all these conversations, right? Like be an adult, have an adult conversation. That is one of those things that we've learned from our families, we've learned from society, that it's for you to have a rational conversation, you have to be an adult and responsible. But no, hell no. Where's the
No.
fun in that? It's you and whatever's going to work for you. It's not about how everyone else does it. It's finding what works for you.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm super excited because like when I heard you talking about this, like I just know there's so much more that's available for kids and adults now not to be bullied. And
Yeah.
that first step is their willingness to actually say, you know what? Okay, I can have a choice every minute. Am I going to allow myself to be bullied or am I not going to allow myself to be bullied? And then, okay, what am I refusing to be? That if I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
refusing it, would actually allow all of this to change with total ease.
Yeah.
And, it's funny. It reminds me of a story. When I was in elementary school, I had just moved here from France. So my English wasn't that great, but I did learn it very quickly. In like, I don't know, 6 weeks, I pretty much learned English. And I was laughing. Well, not really laughing, but I met a lot of friends, and I had a lot of friends. When I came to the US, I skipped a grade immediately, even though I didn't know the language. So my friends were all a year older than me, even though they were in my grade. And my sister, she was normally a year younger, but in the US, she was 2 years younger in school. So we were both in elementary school, and I remember there was this one girl, she would bully my sister. And I don't know, we were there maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks or whatever, 6 weeks or something like that. And I was this puny little thing. I don't know, it's so funny what I was willing to be. Um, but one day I said, you know what? I'm like, got my friends, all my Spanish speaking friends here next to me. We went. I lived in California, so most of my friends were Spanish speakers. Anyway, I took them with me. I'm like, let's go. We're going to go talk to this girl who's not being nice to my sister. And we went over there.
I
And
could just imagine you, like little
now
Laleh
remember,
there.
I still wanted to be the nice girl. That was the nice girl. But I was like, I'm not going solo. I'm going to go with my friend. And I was like, hey, what are you saying to my sister? And she was making fun of my sister. And then I said, what are you talking about? You don't like her breath? That's her toothpaste. Who cares if you don't like her toothpaste? Like they were trying to bully her because they didn't like the toothpaste smell, like whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but it was the willingness to ask the question. Like I didn't go say, you said this to my sister. I said, what are you saying to my sister? That was like my question to her. Because then she had to come up with this energy of, it's a question, not defense mode. And I didn't go because I was going to punch her, but the energy was I would have punched her.
Yeah,
and
and
if I
that's,
didn't, my posse in the back would have.
but like, how interesting is that? Like, how are we willing to have someone else's back, but not our own? You know,
You know,
like,
it's funny. I probably would not have done that for myself back then.
yeah, I would never do that for me too. But like, for people that I care about, or like if I see someone that's like being bullied, I would like, I would like whoop their ass, like the bully's ass.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for me, I would never go, like, I would never go there for me, like I would let them, you know.
But you got to
So
have your
that's
own
so
back. And
interesting.
that's something we're
That's the
learning
thing.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
We're learning it as adults. We need to have our own back. But you're going to laugh. After that day,
Mm-hmm.
okay, literally after that, my sister was best friends with her and her sister. And they were best friends for all the way through elementary school, all the way through middle school, and then all the way in high school, even though they went to different high schools. And then they reunited a few years ago. So that's what I'm saying. It's like we think we're being mean. We're not being mean, but when you're willing to energetically have your own back or have someone's back, when you're willing to be all of you,
Mm-hmm.
you're strong. There's nothing you won't do. There's nothing like you're willing to be it all. That means you're willing to do it all too.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, if they would have tried to swing, I could have swung back, even though I had never fought before.
Yeah, you were. I could see you feisty and like.
Oh, I was feisty. Yeah. But see, back then and still today, like there's still this like trying to be nice with everyone, but it's not about nice. Kindness, actually, your energy is not like a mouse. When you're being kind, you have to be whatever energy is required to
Yeah,
change the environment. Okay.
yeah,
So, like,
yeah,
you have to honor it. And sometimes it is having that presence with intensity.
yeah,
And sometimes it doesn't have to be there, but it's the
yeah,
willingness to be whatever energy is required without making
yeah,
it wrong.
yeah. And also, you don't have to be like, I know you went into the energy of being feisty because it was fun as well, like how much is that so fun? But you can be that energy and just be that energy of no, you don't get to
Yeah.
do this.
Yep.
That's, no, stop. But
Hmm.
you can also be like with a smile, just be that energy. It doesn't really matter what you do and what you say, but when you be that energy, and you can also just remember, for if you can do it for yourself, you can remember how you would do it for someone else. Just remember and step into that energy and
Yeah.
just be that, for example.
But see, okay, I want to come back to my call tomorrow, and I'm
Yeah, yeah,
inviting all
sorry.
of you guys to come because Maria, you have to come too.
Yeah, I
See,
will.
it's the unwinding this fuck up. Like we've been fucked up to think it's wrong to stand up for yourself, that someone else has to stand up for you. Or
Yeah,
it's wrong, you're not being a nice girl or a boy if you say this or if you do this, instead of saying from the minute we're born, you are amazing. You're a gift. No one in the world is like you. Just
yeah.
know I'm here as your parent, as your friend. I've got your back, but you have to have your own back too.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to include yourself in everything in your life, and you have to be willing to be every energy without making it wrong or right. And that's the thing. This whole, like I just even like stuff my dad used to say, like, you have to work hard to make money. Yeah, that's the stuff that fucks you up, that you think when you're doing something and you're having fun, and it's not hard work, then you're not going to get money for it. How many people literally screw up all their finances because of all the stuff they learned as a child from society, from their parents, and not to make their parents wrong, they just didn't know any better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and how, yeah, we just learned from our parents, and how much when we are being bullied, for example, how much, like when you were talking about the adult thing and the child thing, how much are we being that child that was bullied once, you know? Like how
Yeah.
much do we go into that place? And if we just with us, with ourselves, if it would be that what the space and the kindness and the allowance that we would be for a child, so
Yeah.
if we would be that for us, what would change then, you know, what would be possible?
I mean, I've seen so many, like we were talking to Dr. Dane about this particular situation and how many people he's facilitated. And we talk about this. Any kid who's ever been bullied that ever comes to these Being You classes or any of the access classes, they're never again bullied. They're
Yeah.
not. And I've watched it in people in my classes. It's because then they're willing to actually have their own back, and they're willing to be those energies of what's required not to be bullied, and I just wish I know we're in 176 countries now, access is, but what would it take for every single household to know,
Yeah.
whether you're a child, whether you're an adult, whether you're anywhere in between, that you're not wrong. And if you're willing to be you instead of hide who you really are from yourself, what else this world would benefit from,
Yeah. Yeah.
we keep thinking it's just us, but when we're willing to be us, we infect the whole world to have more possibilities for others who don't even know who you are, to one day have the strength to stand up for themselves, to be able to pursue something their hearts desire, because you chose here right now. But all those seeds of possibility just fly into the universe, and now others also have that available. And what are you proving and what are you creating when you're not willing to have all of you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's so awesome you're saying this. And um, about like the whole thing of the brilliance, when you're talking about like your call and the fuck up, how we're
Yeah.
fucked up, like how we think we're fucked, but like when we're not acknowledging our brilliance, and we're
Yeah.
not like embracing our gift, or the gift that we are, then we turn ourselves and we fuck ourselves up, right?
And and that's the thing though, we don't even know what else is possible. So we think it's normal. Our fuck up, we think it's part of us. We think we have to live with it for the rest of our lives, and most of us don't even know we're fucked up.
And it's a total lie, actually,
It
right?
is
Because
a
we
lie,
think
but that's the
it's
point.
actually
We
a
keep
strength, yeah, and we like turn it into something that's like fucked up. We think we're fucked up, but actually we're really brilliant.
but don't tell everyone.
No, no, sorry, that's no. You have to come to the call.
No,
So
you don't. But that's the thing,
I'm
okay?
kidding.
Like
Yeah,
like literally, I had no idea that there's things that I was holding on to and making real, making them mine that were never mine. And I didn't consider them to be fuck ups. And I didn't consider myself to be a fuck up either. But I realize all the ways, by me holding on to these things and by making me be smaller than I really am, fucks up my life, fucks
mm,
up my finances, fucks up the business, fucks up my relationship with me. Like, it creates this fuck up of domino effect. It's not that you're fucked up, it's that you are shrinking you and your capacities and your talents and your abilities and your gift and your greatness when you think you have to be like anyone else. when you
Yeah.
think you have to do it the way that you were taught to do it versus what you actually innately know. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And it's also this twisting of, like we twist that into this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That you were talking about. And I
yeah.
just, I am so inspired by you. Like really,
Oh,
I can't wait to hear what you have to say on the call as well,
oh.
because I've watched you, and I've been like I'm really inspired by your brilliance and your facilitation and what you can change. I can't wait. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
my
And
love. That's very sweet of you.
you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Gladly. And yeah, and also like thank you for like reaching out to me so we would do this Facebook Live, because it's this information is really it required, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also a conscious parent, conscious kids facilitator, and I've been looking at different things we're creating for kids and adults. Like it's not just about parents. I see how many kids, like empowering them to actually be able to have a greater life with their parents. And, I've been really looking at different topics. So thank you for this conversation, because until you mentioned it about your daughter, like it really never resonated to me. Like it did, but there was almost like this light bulb that went off to how much we each can change the face of bullying on the planet.
Yeah.
And the minute that we're willing to be us, we allow a portion of that bullying energy that exists to wash away and to not even be available anymore.
Yeah.
So, what can we be? What can we do different that also allows others to be inspired and empowered to know they
Yeah.
can choose that themselves too?
Yeah. This
And it's
invitation, right?
Yeah, so like I really wonder, and also the awareness of how many people are being bullied at work or at home and they don't even recognize it. They don't know. Like that's all they know. And to
Yeah.
let those people feel empowered too, because like I said earlier to you, it's
Yeah.
not just kids.
Yeah, but can you imagine like if we were being the inspiration for our kids, and the kids would change that like in their universe, in their world, in their lives, they wouldn't grow up to actually they wouldn't be bullying, they would that wouldn't exist anymore like in their adult lives, like
It definitely wouldn't, but what if we could do it as adults right now?
yeah,
So in our life, it's not available anymore either.
yeah,
Instead of
yeah,
waiting for our kids to be the next generation that's going to fix all the problems, like we need to step up and fix it now for ourselves
yeah,
so that it doesn't exist. There's so many things we've already done. So I also want to acknowledge all of you guys out there for you being the brilliance that you be, even if you
yeah,
do it 1 minute a day, whatever you're choosing, like you're changing the face of the universe. You're changing everything that's on planet Earth. You're bringing so much more kindness and you're bringing so much more awareness and consciousness into everything. And what else is possible if,
mm-hmm,
like, we did double that? Like, if you were double that every day, what would that look like? And what if you were willing to be that 1 hour a day? Imagine that.
yeah,
I'm just saying, like, it's just these steps that we've also taken. We have to claim, own, and acknowledge it so we allow it to exponentialize. And what else is possible? And how does it get even better than this?
yeah, like our choices are an invitation and inspiration for the kids, like for everyone.
Yeah,
So thank
yeah.
you so much.
Oh my God, thank you. And thank you all for coming. And we're so
Yes.
grateful for you. And we really wonder, like, what other types of conversations can we really have that's no longer about hiding and allowing things like this to continue to exist, but actually breaks it open, breaks those walls, and takes all these limitations and doesn't even allow them to exist anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. All right, honey.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Sweet dreams. I know it's super late for you.
But I wanted to stay up for this. It's like it's
Thank
been worth it.
you. Thank you so much. I'll see you
Thank
tomorrow
you.
on the call.
Yes. See you.
Okay. Bye. Bye,
Bye.
you guys.
Bye.